Now, look at this. There are 5 Inter players along that Barcelona back line ready to just run through and receive any kind of cross. That is insanely dangerous. Barcelona versus Inter Milan was an instant Champions League classic. What a game that was. I don't think anyone expected it to be a 3-3 draw and for it to be such an exhilarating match. So what we're going to do in this video is go through the key moments, the tactics from both teams. We're going to start with how Inter Milan ran out to a 2-0 lead, how Barcelona roared back into this game and the impact of Lamine Yamal there. And we'll talk about the second half and how both teams are going to be looking ahead to what they can accomplish in the second leg. So welcome to Campfire Football. I'm Sebastian North. Like the video if you enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more breakdowns like this. And please leave me your opinions in the comment section. I love Discord on this kind of thing. It's lots of fun. Let's go ahead and get into the clips of this game. So as I said, this was an instant classic and no one expected a 3-3. And especially, I don't think anyone expected Inter Milan to take a lead in 30 seconds, setting a record for the fastest goal in Champions League semifinal history. But what they were trying to do is draw Barcelona's press in, because Barcelona press high in their 4-3-3, bypass the midfield of the press, see if your front two can win it, which Lautaro Martinez does right here, flicks it down to Thuram, and then you want to be able to connect your on-running midfielders to your wing backs. You can see Denzel Dumfries out on the far side, wide open. That is the prototypical attack from Inter, and then the funny part is, as you can see, the 2 most advanced players for Inter are their wing backs. This is a hallmark of playing with wing backs in a 3-5-2. You want them to be the late runners while everyone else draws the other team in. The ball from Dumfries is good. So is Koundé's recovery, but the clearance not so much. Dumfries gets it back, crosses, and Inigo Martinez slips right there. That is the reason this ends up being goal. If he doesn't slip, he can make a challenge for this ball, maybe go win it, but Thuram just has the time and space. Inigo Martinez on the ground, which actually unsights Chesney, and the ball rolls in, and 30 seconds in, Inter have a 1-0 lead. Now, Lamine Yamal, he is super dangerous. Obviously, everyone is aware of this. He's probably one of the best players in the world at the moment, and so Inter Milan made sure they tried to double up on him whenever they could. But it wasn't just doubling, it would also become tripling. Once again, 2 players on him, and Bastoni is going to be like, nah, I gotta go and help over here. 3 players on 1 winger who's 17 years old. The good thing about Lamine Yamal, he's clever enough to know when he should release the ball or just go on his own. But in the opening stages, Inter actually did a pretty good job of dealing with Lamine Yamal. He didn't have a huge impact in that first 20 minutes because they were winning the ball off him, and then they ended up going and getting a 2-goal lead, which was definitely a surprise. So we're going to take a look at how this all started. Inter Milan get the ball, play the ball out wide. They always want to provide these runs down the channels to where they can play the ball straight, and then runners are going in behind. Little flick here, and Barcelona put the ball out for a throw-in. Now, when you're playing a team with such a high line, if you get a throw-in and can take it quickly, you do not need to worry about someone being offside, so you can really just go for it, chuck the ball and run. Here, DeMarco is not off, but this kind of quick transition is really difficult for Barcelona to deal with. So Inigo Martinez gets the ball for a corner, DeMarco plays the corner in, Bisek wins it at the back post, flying volley from Denzel Dumfries, and it's 2-0. But then Lamine Yamal would come alive, and he would put on an absolute show. So here the ball comes to him, and I just want to highlight this. This is a 17-year-old. The size difference between him and Thuram is pretty significant, but he's still able to body Thuram off the ball, wriggle away, keep it, and now he's going at Mkhitaryan. And the thing about Lamine Yamal that makes him so good at dribbling 1v1s, he is upright. So he's always got his eyes up. He knows exactly where the defender is. His feints and leans are just not that drastic, so you can't quite tell when he's actually going to touch the ball or not. And he just goes by players with ease. Mkhitaryan can't touch him right there because now he's in the box. And the other thing about Lamine Yamal, he needs no backlift whatsoever to hit these. The ball's basically underneath him right here, and he just gets his foot shape right, clips underneath it. Sommer has no chance. It's off the post and it's in. What an unbelievable goal. And for the next few minutes, he was absolutely terrorizing the Inter defense. Here, DeMarco, like, okay, all right, I've got help from Mkhitaryan. He's back on his left foot. Well, we don't want him to get dangerous here. So what they do is what a lot of people say you do with left-footed players, bring them onto their right. With Lamine Yamal, it kind of doesn't matter because they do, and he gets to the byline, and DeMarco's like, I have to slide and try and block the cross. Well, Lamine Yamal just cuts back, sends him flying. This shot right here is saved just barely, fingertips by Sommer onto the bar. What an unbelievable goal that would have been. And I mean, his impact was incredible. Now, part of the reason why is because Inter Milan were turning a lot of balls over. As I said, one of the things they want to do is hit these balls that bypass the press into their front two, who are supposed to hold it up and combine. But if they do that wrong, so here Thuram just tried to dummy and run off the ball, De Jong reads it, now they have to transition to defense. But look at DeMarco, he's way up because he started to run, and so Lamine Yamal is wide open. The ball comes to him. He is now in an incredibly dangerous position. Really nice right-footed cross. Sommer does very well to get his fingertips on on it, but Inter Milan really struggled in the first half to get out. Here's another ball in. Lautaro Martinez tries to lay it off to Barella, but he miscues it, and Barcelona are able to attack again. I'm sure this drove Simone Inzaghi completely nuts because Inter were really struggling to get out of their half. But this is more like what they want to do. So DeMarco steals the ball here. They want calm, they want composure. Ball gets chipped into Mkhitaryan. He doesn't panic even though Jules Koundé is coming, lifts it up to Thuram, and look at this for hold-up play. Chests the ball right down into the path of Barella, who then goes through 3 Barcelona players. Now as he gets forward, look at this. He sees Szczesny off his line, and right here, he was really thinking about just lobbing the keeper from half field, but I don't know what happened. He like kicked the ground or changed his mind. But Inter were starting to do this more often, and anytime Barcelona attacked right in that middle area of the field and tried to thread a needle, if they lost the ball, Inter were starting to find a way out. So the ball gets played here to Thuram. He is the furthest advanced player, so he's got nowhere really to go. He can't turn, so he plays it back to Bastoni, and this just gives Inter Milan enough time to open up. The ball gets played to DiMarco, and he can start to advance. Drops it back to Mkhitaryan, and this is the moment right here. Puts the ball out in front of his feet. He should be switching this with his left foot right over Thuram into the path of Dumfries, because Thuram might be offside here. But he just hesitates. If he had hit that, Dumfries would have been in. You can see him right here, actually still onside. So Mkhitaryan goes back, plays it to Bastoni. He now looks to play it, but look, 3 of these Inter players are offside. So it's not really on. He overthinks it. Lamine Yamal goes sliding in and wins the ball. This is the challenge for Inter. If they take too long, Barcelona will suffocate them and create chances. Ferran Torres gets his shot blocked. Lamine Yamal gets it, drops it at the top of the box for Dani Olmo. He shoots. It's saved very nicely by Sommer. But then Barcelona would get the equalizer through Ferran Torres. What I like about this goal, 2 things. One, shows you how little they wanted to actually attack down the left side. They did not really do that. But the other thing is, look at Ferran Torres and Rafinha, the way that they will rotate here and how they get open, and really also how bad Inter Milan's defending was in this moment. So Inigo Martinez has this ball. He's got Ferran Torres closer to him and Rafinha more or less as the center forward. Now Ferran Torres makes a little bit of a movement, realizes he's not going to get the ball, so he just kind of drifts back into the middle. And so he and Rafinha switch spots. Now Bisek is so close to Rafinha. He should absolutely see this coming. As Pedri gets the ball out of his feet and looks up, Rafinha is making the run. Bisek should jump up at the edge of the 18 with the rest of his peers. He doesn't. As that ball gets crossed, he is now in a little bit of no man's land because this ball from Pedri is absolutely perfect. Rafinha at the back post with exactly the right idea to head it down, but still, how do these 2 Inter center backs get split? How do they not track Ferran Torres? Either way, Barcelona take advantage and equalize. Now, Rafinha would go and score an absolute belter, but this isn't it. I actually want to show you a little foreshadowing and precursor to it because Dani Olmo has a free kick here, lays it off to Pedri, who has one job. Drop it off to Rafinha, who's going to go ahead and hit it. The ball gets blocked, it goes out, but that's some obvious foreshadowing for later. And then we would get into the second half where 2 goals on corner kicks would be scored in the space of 2 minutes. First, it's Denzel Dumfries, and it's important to once again see how Inter Milan built this attack. Like I said, when Barcelona tried to play super narrow, they really struggled to get through. I mean, look at this. You got this 5-3-2 in here. The center backs are able one by one to come out and press the ball if they want to and just work together to win it. Once they do, everyone starts to run forward. Mkhitaryan does very well right there to get the ball away, play it, and now one-touch balls through. Because Barcelona's back line is so high, if you've got speed to get in behind, you use it. And right here, the ball gets played into Thuram. He does exactly the right thing of playing this ball one touch to the underlapping Dumfries. You got Mehdi Taremi on the backside, so if Dumfries can get this ball across to him, it's probably a certain goal. Kubarsi does very well to get his challenge in, and it goes out for a corner kick. But on that corner kick, ball gets whipped to the backside, Dumfries gets the header, and it's 3-2. But Barcelona would equalize immediately off a corner kick of their own. And as I said, foreshadowing, Dani Olmo with the corner, straight off the training ground, little dummy, Rafinha, 25 yards out, bam. And look, Sommer, I feel for him because he did get a touch on that ball, and then it hits the bar, hits him in the back of the head and goes in. Rafinha, it took him a second to realize it went in, I think. I don't know. But 3-3, brilliant. And I mean, the rest of this game was just incredible. Both managers had to be on edge, but it was just so much fun to watch. The thing is that Barcelona started to tire a little bit in their press, and Inter Milan started to find more of a way around it. They would spread out, get the ball to somebody who could advance, and then they would plot their runs. First and second layer runs as well. Here, Thuram's making the first one through. It drops to the Barcelona back line a lot. That means that Denzel Dumfries, who's the second layer runner, can get himself through. through. Now, look at this. There are 5 Inter players along that Barcelona back line ready to just run through and receive any kind of cross. That is insanely dangerous. And Dumfries takes the right option of just playing the underlapping run from Bisek. He can look up and cross it. The funny thing is it goes through absolutely everybody, ends up at DeMarco's feet, and he smashes it over. But Inter were starting to get more and more comfortable doing this. Long ball forward, great hold-up play to chest the ball down. Taremi takes one touch out in front of him, and I think that should have been one touch through and Dumfries is in, because after he takes that touch, now already Dumfries is offside. Now, Taremi did get fouled. Kubarsi would get a yellow card here, but that's the danger. So Barcelona, what do they need to do? Well, they need to press hard and make sure that these balls don't get hit. Barella sees DeMarco on the backside. Barcelona, if they can get something on those balls and block them from going anywhere, then they can counterattack and create opportunities of their own. Fermin does that right there. Now we have a little bit of head tennis in the middle. Pedri gets away with the ball, but he gets stripped. Mkhitaryan gets away, looks up. Now Marcus Thuram looks a little bit offside here, but Ronald Araujo starts running back, and that actually gets Thuram onside and ahead of Kubarsi. The ball for Mkhitaryan is perfect. Thuram is in. He takes himself a little bit wide, and Kubarsi does well to block that shot, but Inter were really starting to get some joy and eventually would get a goal. Now, it would be chalked off for offside, but how they create this is exactly the same thing. Mkhitaryan right here, he's the guy who ends up scoring the goal, sees one initial run, doesn't play it. Barcelona step their line up, and now they're going to step even higher because it goes back to Sommer. But this is where you have that long ball flicked by Taremi right into Marcus Thuram, and now you can start bringing players forward. He drops the ball in, it gets played to Barella, and look at Denzel Dumfries just standing like, play me, play me. But it goes to Bisek instead, and Barcelona now have to drop their line back. So now Dumfries can actually start running forward. The ball gets played to him, and there's 3 Inter players on the backside. All of them are ahead of their markers. The cross is absolutely excellent, and it gets smashed in by Mkhitaryan, but he is a foot offside. Either way, this match ended in brilliant fashion, back and forth. Inter win the ball, and they just flood forward. Now Barcelona win it back, and this is exceptional from Lamine Yamal right here. Check this out. He receives it. He's got 2 guys coming at him. Sidesteps, maybe nutmegs one. Little roulette to go around Marcus Thuram, and then he breaks forward and tries to play this outside of the football. Almost immaculately finds Rafinha, but it's Bisek who steals it. And this play just continues. Inter would counterattack the other way. Bisek goes through, gets the ball off his foot in time, and look at Dumfries. Once again, wide open, tons of space in behind him. Kubarsi got that timing all wrong, even though he puts his arm up here like, it's offside. No, it's not. Lucky for you, Kubarsi, Szczesny is there to retrieve it. But what an incredible match that was. And look, it's very on brand for Barcelona. They concede a lot of goals. They also score a lot. So 3-3 is a pretty normal scoreline for them. But I don't think anyone expected Inter to concede and score 3 themselves as well. What this means is that the second leg is going to be absolutely fascinating, at least on a tactical level. So come back for that. I'll make a video about it next week. If you enjoyed this one, like, subscribe, comment. So I hope you enjoyed the breakdown. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Sebastian North. This is Campfire Football. Take it easy.